10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
The film story starts. Alicia was moving to her mother's house with her husband and daughter because her mother was sick and in a coma, but seeing Alicia, it seemed that she was very upset with her mother and did not want to come here. When she sees her mother and says that she should have been in the hospital, why did you keep her at home? Her sister says that her mother has made some property papers and has also written that her treatment will be at home. Alicia believed that her mother was a witch who did black magic. Alicia was a nurse, now she got a job in the hospital near here. Alicia's sister says that our mother had locked herself in the room for the last 3 years, she just cried and screamed and talked about death for herself. We see that as soon as she comes here, Alicia's daughter, Nora, had strange dreams. She is in her grandmother's room and a girl is waking up from her side, then, Nora's eyes open. When Nora wakes up in the morning, she sees a dog in the house. She followed it and came to a room where she finds a sewing machine, and there she finds a locket on which a spider was made. She keeps it with her. Then there was the same girl standing behind Nora, whom she had seen in her dream, but she could not see her, and when she turns, the sewing machine started working by itself. After which, first, Alicia leaves the school and then goes to the hospital, but her husband was alone at home. He was an electrician who worked at home. Now he goes to a room where there were a lot of things that were used for black magic. Now he was also convinced that Alicia's mother was a witch who did black magic. When he was sitting in his mother's room, she opens one of her eyes, which scared Alicia's husband, and goes out of the room. The next day, a lawyer comes to his house and reads the property papers that Alicia's mother has given all the property to her grandson, Nora. Everyone was surprised to hear this, and Alicia's sister does not like it at all. Then, Nora goes to her grandmother, that is, to Alicia's mother, and starts talking to her as if she is answering her. Then, Nora's dad comes there and takes her away from there. Now there, who had come with Alicia's uncle's lawyer, he tells that your mother was not a bad woman, but after her husband's death, she became a little crazy, after which she started all this. And, Alicia, you should thank your mother. I know your situation is not good, and Nora, who has now become the heir of the property, will help you a lot. After all, she is your daughter. But Alicia's sister was very angry, because her mother had not left anything for her, and in anger, she leaves from here. On the other hand, Nora cuts her hair and keeps it in the same locket. In the morning when she goes to school, she meets the same girl there, whom she had seen in her dreams. Now that girl does not know where she came from. She starts talking to that girl because she had no friends in school. At home, Alicia's sister apologizes to her for yesterday. Then the two of them hear a scream, which was Nora's. She was in her grandmother, means in Alicia's mother's room. Now, Alicia quickly brings the axe and opens the door and comes in, where everything was scattered. Chandelier falls on Nora in that room, because of which she was unconscious. Now both of them take Nora to the other room, so Alicia's sister gets the same locket from Nora, which was her mother's. Now she says to Alicia, you please keep an eye on your daughter. I think our mother wants to take Nora in front of the same glass, but Alicia did not remember anything. Now her sister makes her remember. She says, in childhood, when that night our cousin was also with us, she took me and our cousin in front of the glass and we started looking old. After hearing all this, Alicia gets angry. Now she goes to her mother's room and turns off the oxygen. Then her sister comes and stops her, and her husband turns on the oxygen machine again, after which they burn all the stuff, which was black magic, and Nora was watching them from the window. Now when they burn all this stuff and come back inside the house, the light of the house was off. Nora asks Alicia, what were you burning? She says nothing, it was just a little useless stuff, and now she tells her daughter that you will not go to your grandmother's room. Then we see that the stuff they had burned, the same girl was walking on it, who had come in Nora's dream, and she had also found it in school. Now this girl was talking in Alicia's mother's voice because Alicia's mother had controlled her daughter's body. The next day, Alicia's husband gets a call about work. Now he tells Alicia that when I finish this work, we will leave the city. When Alicia's sister was working at her store, then she thinks about her mother's old thoughts, how she used to trouble her in childhood, and she put her hand in her mouth while doing magic and broke a tooth. Then we see Nora in the present sitting with that girl, who used to come in her dreams. Now they become friends. Then that girl gives the same locket to Nora, which Alicia's sister had taken from her, which means that Alicia's mother's soul was in that girl. Then her sister comes to Alicia's house, who tells her that our mother used to control us with the locket in childhood. I think now she wants to do all this with Nora, and when they both find that locket and don't find it anywhere. The next day when Nora was in school, the girl starts saying bad things about her family. Nora was angry about this. She beats that girl a lot, and in this she is removed from school for a few days. Now, Nora was changing completely from here. One day Nora was getting bored at home. Now she asks her dad to go out. He says yes to her, after which she goes out with the same girl, in which Alicia's mother's soul was in. When Alicia's sister comes back from her store, then she sees Nora and that girl who was talking to her in her mother's voice. She says that the locket you are looking for is in the garden outside. Come and find it. She was very scared of her mother since childhood. That's why she listens to her. Now when she digs a very big hole, Nora shows her the locket and asks, "Who are you looking for?" Now, Alicia's sister gets very angry, as she attacks that girl. Nora ends her while picking up a shovel, but now that girl turns into Alicia's mother and ends her daughter and buries her in the same hole. There, Alicia and her husband were worried about Nora. They were looking for her because she hadn't gone home yet. Now when Nora comes home, she goes to Alicia's mother's room. Along with her, there was another girl who was telling Alicia's mother that Nora is now ready to do everything, which means she just has to look into her grandmother's eyes. But here, Nora was a little scared because she had killed Alicia's sister. Alicia's mother opens her eyes. A very scary kind of demon appears, and now a black thing sticks to Nora's face and goes into her mouth, after which Nora had changed completely. Alicia starts looking for her sister. She was not found anywhere. She goes to her house and sees a dog roaming where Alicia's mother had buried her sister, means her daughter. Nora goes and kicks that dog and runs away. While doing all this, Alicia sees her. Nora was behaving very strangely with her, but she still doesn't know anything. She goes with her husband to the police and reports her sister's disappearance. Then, Nora goes to Alicia's sister's house and kills that dog, who was roaming around her grave. Then she comes to her grandmother's room and opens the cupboard. After opening it, she finds a box in which there were 3 lockets. One had teeth, the other had no blood, and the third had a cut finger. Nora turns off the oxygen there and says, "Now I don't want this body," which means that in Nora, there was Alicia's mother's soul, who had left her body and completely controlled Nora. She could come whenever she wanted and she could go whenever she wanted. She also threatens that if she tells anyone about this, it will not be good. Now at night while eating food, Alicia's husband asks her how her dad died. She says that "My dad used to live outside all the time. One day when he came back home, my sister and I wanted to play with our dad, but I hid under the stairs, and when he came to find me, he fell down the stairs and died. Because of it, my mother always considered me and my sister responsible of our dad's death." Then, Nora says that "You are lying." Saying this, she goes because there was Alicia's mother's soul in it. When Nora's dad sees this, he sees his daughter's behavior and says that "I will have to finish everything quickly and go back." Nora goes to Alicia's mother's room and asks, "Are you going to end Alicia?" She says no, I will kill her husband so that she can suffer all her life. Alicia also heard all this and tells her husband to come home, but he was not answering the phone. When she goes to her mother's room but there was no one there, she hears a voice from the basement. She goes and sees that her mother was there, who suddenly comes in front of her. Then we see that Alicia's husband also come. When she asks her daughter Nora, she says that she is in the basement. Here we find out how Alicia's dad died, when he was actually looking for Alicia. Alicia caught his feet and he slipped. On the way, the deer's head was lying on the road, his horn, which had pierced his neck, and he died. Because of this, his mother hated him. She thought that her husband died because of Alicia. Now the story comes back to the present, where Alicia sees her daughter who had oxygen. Then her mother comes down from the bed and holds her neck. Her husband comes and saves her. Now because Alicia's mother was very strong, that's why she cuts her husband's hand, but still she was attacking him with a knife. She kills him and throws him down. At the same time, Nora comes and attacks him from behind, because she was completely under Alicia's mother control. She cuts her dad. She did not understand that who had caught her from behind and attacked her. Then he throws Nora down. When he sees that she was his daughter, he becomes worried. Now here, Alicia knew that if her mother was alive, then Nora would also be alive. She breathes her mother. Then Nora also becomes alive. After that in the story, we see Alicia's mother in the hospital. Nora comes to her and says that you will have to leave this world. She starts going from there with oxygen. Her grandfather was also behind her. As she turns back, her grandfather turns into a strange demon, and Alicia's mother also starts strangling Nora. Then Nora comes to her senses. It was all her dream. She tells her parents that I love you very much. After that we see the poster of being lost, which was of Alicia's sister and the same girl who was with Nora. Both of them were dead, but no one knew about it. Now at the end of the story, we see Nora, who was going home with Alicia and her dad. Then she was sitting on the seat of the car and staring at something. The same thing Alicia's mother used to do, means that her soul was still in Nora. Maybe she will never leave Alicia. At the end of the story, we know that Alicia's mother used to think that her daughters were responsible for her husband's death. She was Alicia's enemy because she thought that she had killed her dad on purpose. That is why she learned black magic and became a witch. With this, the movie ends here.
Don't forget to subscribe our channel Movies in 15 Minutes. Thank you for watching. Like, share and comment.